This is what they call an ultra-marginal. The Tory majority here is just 54 votes. Effectively, really, just a room full of people. Now, it is Labour's top target seat. They really have to win this constituency if they want to win this general election and get Ed Miliband into Downing Street. We're talking to all the candidates here in this constituency today. Let's talk to UKIP's William Cash. Thank you very much for being with us on BBC News. UKIP fighting hard here, but isn't this just really a two-way fight between the Tories and Labour in this constituency?
Absolutely not. I've been knocking on doors in Bedworth and Atherstone all weekend. This isn't just a three-way fight. This is a seat which we really feel we can win. The reason is that there is a lot of working-class former miners here, and the vote that they used to have for Labour is simply collapsing in places like Bedworth. And the reason for that, and I was on the number 70 bus, is because so many immigrants are now coming and taking the jobs away from former miners who are working in the distribution centres around places like Hams Hall and Birch Hill, Birch Coppice. So the reality is that there is a real sense of threat to jobs, and it's a real problem.
But there aren't actually that many immigrants who live in this constituency, are there?
Well, that's exactly my point. The point is that they're coming in largely on buses and trains, and locals really feel that they are under threat. And the reality is that miners actually were paid really quite well. They were working class proud, but they weren't necessarily working class poor. And the real issue at the moment is that many of the distribution places like Sainsbury's or Ocado or all these places which have zero-hour contracts are actually causing the living wage to really fall, and it's really causing a sense of unease in these communities.
What about HS2, the high-speed rail link? You're fighting very hard on that. You're opposed to it, completely opposed to it. But a lot of its supporters say, you know, it's going to be fantastic for the economy here in the Midlands. It's something that has to be built.
Well, this is an issue of localism. I mean, we were promised that local communities would be consulted. The reality is that everyone around here has said that it is the most important issue in the election, and yet the Tories are in favour of it. The Labours call it their brainchild. And the truth is, it's not going to benefit local community. And UKIP would much rather the money, at $4 billion a year, was spent on things like hospitals and schools, where it's really needed in this crucial, critical, marginal seat. And I have to say, I think HS2 is, without any shadow of doubt, the issue that was responsible for Mike O'Brien being booted out last time. And as the former immigration minister, he's got some real issues here, because he's someone who is very much regarded as part of the metropolitan elite. He's always popping up, and I think there's a real sense of people feel that he's walking around with a sense of entitlement. Atherstone has always been a place where there's been great political upsets. Remember Francis Maud, or even remember in this great high street, where this is actually where Henry Tudor spent the night before the Battle of Bosworth in 1485, just 3 doors down there. And of course, you know what happened there. There was another great political upset, so to speak.
Well, we'll see what happens on May the 7th. William Cash from UKIP, thank you.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.